I've recently been shown here in the last couple weeks, maybe 3 weeks or so, that there is a big presence of baby boomers in that generation up in this this debacle. And when I say baby boomers, I mean all different facets. But generally speaking, and again, I'm not speaking on behalf of everybody, okay? But I'm saying that there is a strong presence of the age range roughly between 55, 60 and up. And I see it in my community. I see it on my algorithm. I see it in the politicians. I see it in the military branches in my local area. And that's just people I see out at stores, people I see on the road, people I see on the roads. And again, I live in a community. Allow me to remind you, I live in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, which is right in the smack middle of Eglin Air Force Base and Hurlburt Air Force Base, which are two very big military bases. And this is an area that old FBI plane decided to do loop-de-loops on the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And so that said, there's a strong military presence in this little area of mine, and there has been. And I see the reactions and the actions of people around me when I'm out in public. And whether that is retired people, military undercover, I see it. And I see how they conduct themselves, and they think they're not being seen, but I do see them, unfortunately. And it breaks my heart because it is one of those things where I do see that there is a big stronghold and pull in reference to things that have been done to the world in humanity for decades now. And it is way underground, and it's pretty evident. And this video might get 0 views. Who knows? It may not even post, but the truth is the truth, and it is what it is. And there is a big issue with what the military in different ways, again, allow me to preface this, not everybody in the military, not all, and of course there are different various people that play their part in all military branches, and I'm not saying everybody, but you know who you are. You know who you are and the choices that you made that landed you where you're at right now. And whether you're retired, you're not retired, whether you have made decisions in your tenure that landed you up today, where you have done or partaked in really crappy things to land you in a place of strong amount of abundance, where you have landed in reference to where you make a lot of money on the monthly basis on your retirement plans, your disabilities, and all these different things, and the things that you partaked in while you were in service were maybe not so favorable. And it's, again, agree to disagree. I'm just telling you what I see. I'm telling you what I have an understanding with. My grandfather was military. I understand military. I respect military. All branches, retired or not, I respect. And I stand 10 toes down with you, man. You know, but there becomes a line drawn in the sand. And my grandfather drew it. He did indeed. I know exactly why that man got out and why he chose to operate and what he chose to operate in. And nobody can tell me otherwise. Nobody. I know conversations that I have with my grandparents. I know what they said when I was younger and little innuendos that they said. I know. And it's one of those things. You know, when you have a consciousness within you, we all do. You can't run from that. What you choose to do with your conscience is your free will. But see, what happens is, and what we're seeing right now is people are wavering and they're dancing with their conscience because they know what they did. They know what they did. They know what they partaked in. They know what they swept under the rug. And it's all kind of shown its ugly face because it's went too far. People have lost their lives. People have been attacked. People are scrounging at the bits to just take care of their family and their loved ones and their kids, while others are not. And it's not right. Of course, everybody works hard for their money, but at what point do you draw the line in considering what you do for work? What you do for work? You know what I mean? Like, you can't sit here and think that there is a conscious level of righteousness and giving you the green light when you are making whatever amount of money you're making. And it's built off psyops and manipulation and gaslighting and distractions and bucking the system and trying to get something from nothing, from just something from nothing, in reference to just blatantly stealing from the American people in different ways. And you fill in the blanks for what you feel in this story, and there's room for correction in that. But the thing is because everything is just so evidently false in this illusion that they've created called reality and freedom. And it's kind of one of those things where it's showing its ugly face because it was designed to, because it could only go the way that it had been going for so long, because there was so much corruption and deception within it. When you have something leading in corruption and deception from the foundation of it, what do you think the outcome is going to be? It's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. It might be good for a little while. It might be good for a couple decades. It might be good at face value, but it's going to show its ugly colors eventually down the road. Why? Because you reap what you sow. Anything founded in money, greed, is going to land you on evil eventually. And it's one of those things. You just have to understand that. It's a duality. It's a balancing. You can't run from that. It's impossible. It truly is. It's going to end up eating you up. It's going to eat you up where you're going to drive down the road, act like a fool. It's going to eat you up where you're going to walk into a corner store and be a little bit sideways over nothing. It's going to eat you up when you go on your family vacations to your second home and be surrounded by people that all you guys do is talk about each other. But it's just a false facade that you're creating for yourself. And it's like, I know these are all stings. Things that I say are hard to say. Truth is hard for people to see. It truly is. I get it. And that's why I just take it at face value, at grain of salt. I don't play too much into how people act and what they say and what they do and what they choose. That is all something on their side. I don't allow it to affect me. And you have to get to that place too, because they are going to continue doing and saying what they want to say. They just are. They're in their own reality. They're in their own bubble that they've created for themselves. And they're all scrumming at the bits. They're all in a slump. And it's one of those things. And you just have to learn to stand on what you stand on, righteously, morally, ethically, dignified, honorable, with honorability, because that's what's going to be the pillars for you. It's going to be the pillars for you to walk into your world and feel good about yourself. To where when you're their age or the age of 55, 60, you ain't going to be acting like that. You ain't going to be acting like that because you ain't going to need to. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel good. You're going to feel good what you stand on, whether it's just a itty bitty tiny house or not even a house itself, but you're going to still feel good because you didn't step on people. You didn't take advantage of the system. You didn't want to get nothing for nothing. Something from nothing. You didn't want to take from people so you could get ahead. You don't want to take advantage of the weak-minded people because you thought that you weren't weak-minded. But I'm sorry, but if you're one of those people that considers yourself a strong mind, but you're taking advantage of the weak-minded people, you're actually extremely weak. Because you have to ask yourself, why do you have to do that to be a strong-minded person? You should be able to be strong-minded without